Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. So today I kind of want to do something a little different, and I want to design a bucket attachment for my little Huano RC forklift. Basically I'm turning it to like a little excavator, but yeah, I get bored of just lifting stuff, putting it down. I want to turn this forklift into something more. So that's why I'm going to design a 3D printed attachment, and hopefully it fits and works on the forklift. Before I got anything 3D printed, I actually wanted to make a rough draft, so I used a gum box, a plastic pallet, and I made a bucket, and it worked. It was basically a proof of concept, and I went outside, I used it in the sand in front of my house, and it worked. It kind of fell apart fast, so this is when I decided to make a 3D print. So I went into Tinkercad and I designed a bucket using real life buckets on excavators and whatnot as references, and this is what I came up with. As mentioned before, I used real life excavator designs to base this off of, and that's what led me to this design here. The negative black spaces you're seeing in this video are areas that are going to be carved out. They will not be printed. Everything else that remains is what's going to be printed by the 3D printer. I created some support beams in the rear of the excavator. This is all kind of realistic like, so it all should work out well. And if you look closely, you'll realize that this is all on a graph that is 1/8 of an inch. That's what each one of those little tiny squares are. That's why I used a real life ruler to measure this out, and hopefully it will fit. Of course, I also added some safety chains, but these safety chains are going to be too big to print in one setting, so I had to separate them in order to make this a successful print. But with that in mind, let's go to the library and let's see if this worked out, because I am excited.
Alright, well, it's time to make the trip. I have the forklift included in the back, and it is a modest 29 degrees outside, so it will be a bit cold, but let's get going. Oh, we're here. We want to see something pretty cool? Check it out. That's been there for the past like a decade or two. It's a neat little forklift. Datsun, propane operated forklift. It's a little nifty one, but it get the job done. I feel like it just needs a little love and care, and that thing will be up and running again. That's the thing that will outlive all of us. Well, we're here. I'm gonna head inside and achieve it for a modest price of $20. That's a pretty fair price. It's just to pay for the materials and stuff. It's honestly not that bad to print a part that you don't have, that doesn't exist, but you want it to. I'd pay about $20 if they mass produced it. That's a nice price. Well, I'm heading inside, get it, and we'll be back out. I hope it fits. If it doesn't, this is all for nothing.
Ooh, sounds fragile. I hope it's not. Well, I got it. It's rather light, which is really good for the forklift, because shoot, there it is. Tell me what y'all think. Had to break off some support beams and stuff, but I think hopefully it came out rather well. Alright, it's time to break off the support beams. I don't have much experience with 3D printing. This is my first one, so hopefully try to get this right. You know, screw the knife. I don't need the knife. I can get this with my fingers.
Look at that. The change came out rather well. That's good news. Okay, got some strings left on here, but nothing but a 3D printer tuning problem. And it's assumingly, you know what? That's not a problem, because honestly, I just realized you're 3D printing this, going up, it's simple. But imagine how hard it must be to 3D print something that overhangs. How do you do that? I don't know. I see it 3D printed these like loose strings. It connected them up here like a spider web, and then it built a pretty strong structure on there. And it honestly came out pretty well. I had some support beams right here, stuff to support it. I feel it supporting well. And I say, let's get the forklift. I like these little pieces. They're pretty cool. They're very satisfying. Alright, let's put these over here. So I printed this, I measured the dimensions on this forklift whenever I modeled this in Tinkercad. And I'm hoping everything worked out. So we're going to put the forks on here. And when I measured it with the forks all the way wide like this. Oh, come on. Let's turn it on. Let's breathe it in the air and we'll see from there. As long as the printer and Tinkercad measurement is accurate, the main problem is not me worrying about it seeing if I go on there, because I'm pretty confident in my measuring skills. Oh, hello. I'm pretty confident in my measuring skills. The only problem I'm worried about is I have the chains to where they're connected here. You can see. One spot I'm worried about. So it's not first time seeing it. As you can see, I have supports right here. Here we go. It's looking real tight of a fit. Come on. Maybe I should scrape out some stuff against that, because this should be sliding on way easier. I left 0.5 millimeters of. I understand. I don't know if you can see it. There is some kind of overhang inside the holes, because you know how hard it is to 3D print something to go over something. It's honestly impressive though, but yeah, because you have no support beams and you're. Oof, I can feel it hurt my hands. I'm fully confident we can get this piece to work. We don't have to do another one. I'm the money for that anyway. So where is it? Work, heavy work. Oh, that sounded. Yikes. Oh. I will not be able to get this off. But, wow. We did it. Huh. Now the main things that I was worried about fitting on are these chains. As you can see, I don't know, we'll see. Let's just see right now. I feel like I might have forgotten something. How do I think this is gonna work? I don't know. Something like this. You just put them on here and hope that it doesn't. might as well connect it to somewhere else. There you go. That's what I had in mind mainly more of. I thought this was gonna be a loose fitting. I was actually designing it that way. I thought this was gonna barely fit on there, but or not barely fit on it. Be a loose fitting, like to where it comes off, like, you know, it slides off. So I had these chains on here. I'm ready to glue them on here, but it's looking like I might not need them even. But you see the reasoning behind the chains. But this thing, it looks like it's ready for some scooping. Let's see. Now, I wish I made this go all the way down to the ground. I didn't realize, like, the size. Like, I thought it was going to be so little. I designed it to where it wouldn't break that easy right here. So it kind of goes up a bit. But it's alright. Now, let's see if this thing can support the weight of the forklift. With ease. That's just impressive to me. This is a strong thing too. I say let's take this to the beach and let's test it out for real. As you can see, I got dirt on this thing and everything because I put this forklift toy to the test. Now let's see how this holds out in the real world. I just showed the staff inside the final outcome of the product. They're pretty satisfied with it too. Of course, they've been looking at the plow the entire time, but they haven't seen it with the entire forklift, and they honestly think it's nice. So do I. And originally the plan was to go home and get some JB Weld plastic bonder and bond these together. But I think we're going to do a shortcut and just go straight to the beach, because this thing is on here pretty sturdy. It won't be coming off. So yeah, let's go to the beach and test this thing out. Due to the unsuspected tightness of the plow not being on there properly, I'm going to have to transport it with the forks up out of the box. Of course, with the controller down here. Don't want that falling out. But, yeah, to the beach we go. Man, it is a beautiful day in Old Town today. Might be a little bit chilly. The battery on the bike is dying. We're on like 25% because I haven't charged it in a week. But everything is going well. It's awfully quiet in the town today, though. Alright, we are here at the beach, and I just want to point out real quick, fun fact, this bike right here is immortal. Even though I've only had it for 4 years, I've put over 20,000 miles on it. That's before I stopped tracking. I'm pretty sure it's well over 30,000 now. I've replaced every component on here various times besides the motor and the frame. Everything else has been replaced, including this battery. The battery before it, I got a car and I decided I didn't want to use the bike anymore, so I did a burnout right over there on the beach, and it, I guess, blew a fuse in the battery or something, and the battery stopped working. Well, I went all the way up there, threw it off the balcony as high as I could, and hit the ground, smack. It cracked it. I put it all back on the bike as a joke, and it worked.
This is actually footage that my friend took on his channel, Atomic Sock 24. This is from a few years ago. This is after we even threw it off of the balcony. It turns out, I think we like tried our best to break it. We were beating it up and everything until like the fuel cells were exposed. And then we plugged it up just as a joke, and it still worked.
The power go into it. It's on.
Anyway, let's get back to what we were talking about. So here's the forklift. Surprisingly, the pavilion doesn't have any sand in it that I can see. So I found a perfect spot right here in the curve. Plenty of sand to plow, and we're gonna get this cleaned up. Well, I was not recording at full quality, and the screen is pretty much dark. But anyway, here we are on the ground. Let's get the jack ready to call this load, and we're gonna begin scooping up some sand. That's some fun activity, I guess. Yeah, I must say I had nothing prepared. My camera's about to die. The forklift, I'm only on the second battery. Good thing I modded the battery system to extend the battery and whatnot. Yeah, let's see. It's gonna be hard to record and do the video at the same time. We gotta get something worked out here. Alright, I hope this angle works out. I can't tell. The sun is rather bright, but let's get started. This is not working out well. So when I tried out the gum package, it was very soft sand. This is compact sand. This is, you know, well, let's fluff it up a bit. Let's make things a little easier. There we go. That's something there. Well, unfortunately my camera has died, so I have to use my phone. My phone's camera's also beat up a lot, but it's just about almost done. Here's the first work site. As you can see, it plowed up some sand. They got all that there. You can see the tracks here. People are gonna see these tracks and wonder what went down. Here's the second work site. As you can see, we have a lot of tracks. It was plowing right here, throughout here, and right now we're plowing a path off the road. Nothing but sand right here, but somehow I guess the sand is compact enough to where we can plow a little road. So that's pretty cool. Let me get a little more than that. Yeah, what I mean is like whenever there's sand on here and you bring it out to the road, it starts lightening it and you know what? Am I the only one who's curious about the range in this thing? I've never tested it out. Let's see. I mean, we're still going. I think the point from this point on is how long will the battery last? It seems like it's the battery that's the main concern. Because it's still going. Wants to drive left, though. And either the range just cut out or the battery just cut out. Yeah, it still sounds like it has a good bit of voltage left, so that was definitely the range. It was going strong, but yeah, it made it quite a bit of a distance. Let's drive it back and us in OSHA, if you have a load on the forklift, you go up the hill forwards, and if you don't have a load, you go up backwards. We don't have a load, so we're going up left the keys there. Anyway, don't mind the quality on this camera. As you know, my first camera died. My second camera's on the way. This third one happens to be my flip phone, as you can see. Hello. Anyway, yep. You should see the how much my phone is bending in order for me to get the shot. Seats poking into the battery bay, all this stuff. But yep. Oh yeah, never do what I'm doing right now. Whenever I was going to start forklift certified, OSHA also said never turn on an incline. Oh. place. Oh no, the battery bay's coming out. Oops, I actually turned off the phone. So anyway, one of the things you gotta get down is get it down. Alright, it's not gonna happen. The back end has to go down in order for those tires to touch, and then it'll go. Also, never did this in an actual forklift. Oh my goodness. As you can see, a little quick sneak peek. 7.4 volts. Yep, I have 7.2 volt batteries in here. I hope it's not that big of a difference. Anyway, this is the battery bay. I have these customized batteries. I bought some bullet connectors. I know, so y'all electrician nerds are gonna yell at me for doing that instead of a little RC toy, but it's been working. It extended the battery life from 15 minutes on this thing all the way to like 50 minutes per battery. I have two of them. First one I forgot to charge. Second one, this one, also was used lightly before this. An area over there. It's a pretty steep incline. I'm curious how this thing would go down. Are we ready? We're seeing how steep it is out here. Look at this. Let's do it. Watch, look. Oh, hold up. We have a little trick. Y'all ready? Watch, you ready? So let's just, put you back down. Wow. So normally this thing can support its weight whenever this thing goes down. Right now it's not working well because, the battery's dying. There's not enough voltage. There we go. Either that or the cord was getting snagged. There we go. That's how fast I want you to go. Crash, 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 crash. Uh-oh. This thing does not do well at off-road terrain. Any kind of terrain kind of tends to fail. Let me raise the mast a little bit. I'm probably calling these things the wrong terminology. It's been a good second since I became forklift certified, but let's see. Why aren't you getting it down a little bit? We're getting it down. Uh-oh. What happens if we don't stop? Uh-oh. That's the best to scoop something up yet. second stepping down here, but this all used to be sand all around. It's pretty cool how it's all turned to dirt and well, maybe it's not quite dirt, it's still sand, just the lowest nutritional value for grass, but grass is doing it. But I just want to see how far this thing can traverse across the sand. So once it gets across the dirt, we're going to see how well this thing does off-road. A little push, okay. Yeah, it's not often that this thing gets the ability or the chance to come out here and do off-road stuff like this. So far, it's doing well. Okay. Doing well. Come on. A little push. A little push again. Push again. I might glue the rubber tires to the rim, because that's like the main point whenever, or the main problem whenever it can't get over stuff, because it doesn't seem to know how to. Well, I don't know. We're getting there. Let's see if we can make it to the water. Here we are. The last place you would want to take any kind of RC toy, especially a forklift. Dominating this terrain though. I don't know, what do y'all think? Should I cross this water? I don't think I really want to, because the batteries are on the bottom side, and this water, those batteries will be corroded by next week, so it's not a good idea. But we'll try it anyway for the views. I also gotta watch my bike over there, because we're far from it. If someone decides to take the valuable stuff out of my rack I have on the back of my bike, that's not gonna be a fun time. They have a marine time truck over there. I respect those. That's a fun job. They're getting it. Come on. Let's go. Here's the hardest part. Hardest part right here. Get past this and you're winning. Oh, we're spinning. The actual tires themselves are spinning. We're digging a hole. Okay, let's move. Dang. Yeah, it's not happening. Back to solid ground, like nothing even happened. Well, it's a good idea to. Ooh, my controller's buttons are starting to get stuck. I saw this stand out here. This is like the death of a remote control RC. And this wasn't that expensive, or this wasn't cheap either. Look at this, we're doing something. Okay. Getting a little work done. Surprised not a single seagull out here. Like I did say earlier, if I did say earlier, it is, what, 29 degrees right now, so they tend not to like this weather. Actually, never mind. There they all are over there, just sitting in piles. In the coldest spot you can be at. I knew you'd get stuck there, but nope, you traversed. see it kind of catches stuff a little bit right there. I don't know if you can or not on the camera. It's a bad camera, but yeah, there's kind of a puddle of water right there, so it does kind of have a dip. I might have designed it a bit bad right there, but it's still working out well. Once again, you can only just imagine what people are thinking when they see little tiny RC tracks just coming along the wettest part of the beach. As you can see, they got stuck right there. I don't know, but this is fun. You know what? This is fun. Shouldn't. I really shouldn't. But I'm going to. Oh wow, look how beautiful that water looks right there. They got fish swimming in there. That's so weird. Win. Unfortunately, my oh wow. Hello. Hi. I'm so curious what's down there. I could probably attach a flashlight to this and then be able to go down there to the deep abyss. But unfortunately, my phone did die. The smartphone and the camcorder out there, and the batteries on this forklift is about to die. So I shouldn't send it down there too far, or I had to crawl very far to get this. But yeah, let's just do it. I feel the poo-poo water going into my shoes. Ugh. That's so cool though. Look at that little fish. And I shouldn't be having my phone here just in case it does decide to whatever. I don't trust it. I'm controlling half of this controller with my mouth, so I'm definitely gonna be infected by something by the end of today. Oh, it's so hard to control. Ugh. Come on. That's one way to clean off the tires, though. Ooh. Who knows what's all the way down there? Just a bunch of pipe going all the way into this under the beach. But I am so curious. I hear the train. This probably should be the end of the video because both my somewhat okay quality cameras have died. And now I'm only recording on a flip phone. There's no way people's attention span can last on a flip phone. But anyway, yeah, so here's the attachment. It worked out beautifully. Sadly, this forklift is not that powerful. So, and it's, even though this is all real metal, it's not heavy to be able to power these wheels through. But it works out well though. Have the perfect beams. I feel like this thing, even though it's built with kind of like not cheap plastic, not at all. But I feel like this thing, it can last a good bit. I'm glad it turned out how it did. So I'm gonna take this thing home, maybe air it off, something, we'll see. But I'm glad it turned out the way it did. It couldn't have been any better. No one gets mad about the tire tracks that I left with the forklift. They are a little bit big with the forklift. As you see, I was driving around there. I even plowed some sand over there with the RC forklift. It left some imprints, but hopefully people don't get mad about that. Oh, up. One last thing. Something ain't right. So I did notice earlier that when I put it on, there was an audible like boom, like it was struggling right here. It wouldn't go on. Then it went on. I found the reason why. When I measured this part from here to here. I didn't measure under it. I forgot to account for the fact that this thing goes down. So I don't know if y'all could tell, but there's a crack there now. That cracked right there. So honestly though, if it fits and wraps around it right here, I'm fully okay with just taking this entire bottom part off. It cracked on both sides, so if I take this off, this part will hold it on, this part will hold it down. It's not gonna go that way, right? Maybe, I don't know. But all I know is that this right here will hold it on, and we'll have some chains up here. It all works out. But little mistakes like that, they're happy mistakes, I guess. But it worked out though in the end. After this, the last thing for me to do is attach the chains, and this will be a finished product. Oops, I didn't see that happen. I don't know if this is the right decision. So as you can see, all the rear supports have been snapped off at the bottom due to my miscalculation. I don't know if I could show you clearer earlier, but if you look right here, I measured it from here. Hold on. So yeah, if you look right here, I measured it from here to here, but I failed to account for this lift, or the support bracket, I guess. I don't know if y'all can call this, at the bottom. So when I inserted it, as y'all could see, whenever it just snapped on, it caused this undercarriage to under some arm support to crack. So now there's some loose pieces on here that are from each side. So my general concern is this thing right here is still on top and bottom because this support thing doesn't really start until right here. Only concern I have is now this thing has the ability to go that way. Since nothing here is holding this part, it can go that way, but it doesn't really seem to want to. So as much as I push it up, it won't go up. I don't know why that's the case. But maybe right here is strong enough to support it from trying to go that way, and it's working. So honestly, we just lost a very important structure right here, but it still works. If I were to redesign this, I'd just drop this down a little bit, add a little maybe support right here, and it'd just be that much better. But if I caught that one little mistake, then when I tried putting this on earlier, it would have slid right on. What's the purpose of this little thing? Oh wow, that's cool. I guess it's somewhere along the lower part of the mast. Whenever you have this part retract down. Hello. So I guess whenever you have this part retract down, these two little rollers go in here. The battery's dead still, I haven't charged it yet. But when this goes down, it's a cool little system. It's very realistic, just like a natural forklift with and this has a lot of pressure on it too. This one right here doesn't look like it has a lot of pressure on it, or resistance. That's because this one right here is the return rope or whatever. This one right here, as you can see, there's not much resistance. I'm too tired for all the fancy words. Each bracket, it's been about 5 minutes now. Each one is drying as expected. This JB Weld advertises a 15-minute bonding time, so it's going to take it a second to heal, or how you say it, I don't know. But let's come back 10 minutes from now and see how they're holding up. I don't trust that 15-minute advertisement though. I'm assuming that it takes longer for 15 minutes. If an eye's rinsed for 15 minutes, that's a sticky situation. And we're back. Welcome back. I think it's been a little bit over 10 minutes, as in over an hour. I fell victim to YouTube Shorts, but let's see. It looks like there's no visible movement. Maybe it's on your strong. What I'm going to do is, this is about a 10 to 15, maybe 20 pound forklift. What if we can lift the forklift itself with, oh dear, that's, this might be on here permanently, because if I can't push this back any, and I can't get these chains off, come on, let's lock in here. Oh, that makes things easier. more ideas. Being silly. But, like I said, let's see if these chains can support the entire weight of the forklift. I don't think they can, honestly. But here we go. Wow. Fully 3D printed chains can support the entire forklift. That's rather impressive. Little quick demonstration real quick of the safety chains. So as you can see, if this thing were to get loose, so the way it works is they push it on here, it gets wider right here, just enough to hold it in place. If it somehow got loose and this thing started sliding off, these chains stop it just before it slides off. It works perfectly. So no matter how much you try taking it off, it won't come off. These chains are going to hold it in place. So good on it. Alright, and a quick update on the effectiveness of these safety chains. As mentioned before, if the plow were to somehow come loose, the safety chains would stop it as such. As you can see right here, when you push it on here, this part gets wider, so usually that keeps it on there. You don't need to use the safety chains. That's a backup option, but whenever it does inevitably come off, it's how it happens. It will not come off. The safety chains are preventing it, as you can see. So usually it's pushing this way, you're plowing stuff, but if you're reversing, somehow it gets caught in something. That's pretty cool. Alright, well that's the end of this video. This forklift, it held up well. We went through various scenarios and it did great in all of them. This plow, honestly, I don't know much about it, but I say I designed it rather well. It's holding up well. The chains are in a good position. They make it to where it won't slide off in case it gets loose, and that's a good safety feature. The structural supports on the sides are working well. They help it push without breaking. It all works well, and this thing's lighter than you think, so that helps in the end whenever this thing's main problem is torque. Well, that being said, everything worked out rather well. If y'all have any suggestions, leave it in the comments, and I will see that. I will try to respond to, and if it works out, I don't know. We'll see, but I will read the comments. It works better than I thought it would, and I'm glad it worked out. Alright, and that's about the end of the video. If y'all have any suggestions, leave them in the comments. I will be looking at comments. I'll try looking at them. Anything about this. 3D printing costed more than I thought, but in the end, it was well worth it for me, so that's the end of the video today. I hope y'all enjoyed watching. Check out my other content if y'all like creative stuff like this that isn't too hard on the brain, like YouTube short feeds and stuff like that. It rots your brain out badly, stunts your growth, stunts everything. It's good to have a little creative stuff. Y'all should do something like this in your own meantime if you have the chance. Stuff like this is what makes life special, and whenever you constantly feed away on YouTube shorts and stuff, that's not fun. And the fact that you made it to the end of this video, whoever you are, I don't know who you are, either you probably know me. If you don't, and you're a random person, you made it to the end of this video, props to you. You have a functioning brain, unless you skip to the end. But good work. That's it for the end of the video. Hope y'all enjoyed, and y'all have a good one. Peace out.